You are desperate for a new job. You hate it. You are so fed up. You want something that you feel fulfilled in, that you're creative. But who's going to want to hire a middle-aged menopausal woman and flip? I don't even know what I've got to offer anymore. What if I told you that you have tons to offer a new employer? You can unlock your dream life. It's all hidden in plain sight, though. If you look back at the jobs you did in your teens or in your 20s, the good jobs, the bad jobs, the what was I thinking jobs, the ones I'd rather forget. They were all not random. They were secret setups to your fabulousness. Come with me. Let me connect the dots with you so you can draw up a list of all of your transferable skills that then mean you can hunt for and apply that dream job that is waiting out there for you. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello Bab, how you doing? My name's Marverine. Welcome back to my channel. But if you're new here, hello, greetings. I've had more jobs than you've had hot dinners, and now I'm an award-winning broadcaster and journalist in the UK. I'm in my 50s. I feel like I'm thriving, and I just want to help any other woman out there who's over 40, in midlife, who's feeling that things are just a little bit scary out there. In this video, I'm going to share with you my very unscientific system, which has helped me draw up my list of transferable skills that then I can use and put on a new job application. So by the end of this video, you'll have a great little list and you will have kick-started your new job search so you can get out of the doldrums, you can stop being stuck, and you can make progress, look ahead and make some plans, baby. Okay, you want a change, you are stuck, but you're feeling like you're washed up, you don't have anything to offer an employer anymore. And I get it. Better the devil you know syndrome. You're just going to stay at the job, keep your head down, stop complaining. But you hate the job so much that you do complain to anyone and everyone who knows about it. You've done all the quiet quitting you can, so much so that your boss and your colleagues are beginning to think that you're a little bit lazy and your reputation is being completely destroyed. You are getting grouchy at home. You are getting even more salty at home. The kids are feeling like, what's happened to mom? Your friends, your family are avoiding you. This is not good. Are you in denial? Maybe. It's a classic case of a lack of confidence, and it all happens to us in our 40s and 50s, girls, but we have got to harness it and turn this ship around. I understand it. As we get older, we do sometimes get a little bit resistant to reflection. What's happened is in the past, dead and buried. I don't want to look in the rear view. I don't want to remind myself of my best years. I'm feeling a bit powerless to try and change things now. But the point is, let's try and flip that around, because if you do take some time out for yourself to self-reflect, you might just find some nuggets of wisdom. And the point is, what we want to do is to feel that we're making progress. We want to feel that we are propelling ourselves into our new future. And in doing this act, you're going to learn and grow. And what better feeling than that, particularly when you might be feeling in this very moment stuck and going nowhere. You have the power to change your own direction. So let's start it. Imagine taking those first steps towards progress. You don't have to tell anybody. If you do, yeah, go ahead, tell a bestie, as long as you trust them, a confidant, if you've got a coach. But the point is, how good is it going to feel that you are secretly working on something in a clandestine fashion? Brilliant phrase. One of my old bosses told me, keep your powder dry. And I can guarantee, as you're taking time for yourself to figure out where to go next, it's going to give you the spring in your step that you didn't already have. You're going to be jumping out of bed in the morning. You're going to be less grouchy, less salty, less moany. Your friends, your family are going to gravitate back to you, and they're going to stop avoiding you. So what's stopping you getting started? Imagine little Marv, shy, quiet, reserved, nerdy, very bookish. All I used to do was listen to music in my bedroom, Used to read my books, do my schoolwork, go to bed on time. So when school said, who wants to do work experience? And I kind of blurted out without thinking, me. They decided that I was the perfect person to spend 5 hours every week in a room full of boisterous, loud 5-year-olds doing zoomies around the class. A teacher gave me a lift to school each week, and boy oh boy, the first time I walked into the class, I was so frightened. The corner of the room was filled with little kids, little boys and girls playing in the sandpit. It was crazy. I was like, I'm not going over there. But on the other side of the room, I saw some shelves with books on. I love books. I went over to the books, started perusing them. I was not ready to go and speak to these kids that I had no clue and didn't know. So I started perusing the books, and one little girl came and stood by me and chose a book and handed it to me. I said, do you want me to read it? She said, yeah. So I went and sat in the Jackanory chair. Little girl positioned herself, sat down on the floor in front of me, and I started reading the book. And I remember what my mum used to do, like with the voices, like, and I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow the house down. The noise from the sandpit was overbearing, so I had to do it a bit louder. And I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow the house down. And as I kept reading the Three Little Bears, the sandpit seemed to get a bit quieter, and children one by one were turning up and sitting in front of me, listening to the story. By the end of it, it was great. I had a captive audience sitting, listening to me doing the stories. And I did that every week for about 6 weeks. Ended up graduating from telling stories to playing games with them and all sorts of different things. And by the end of the 6 weeks, I'd gone from walking in a room going, why am I here? This does not work for me and my aura, to all the little boys and girls wrapping their arms around me, hugging me and going, we're going to miss you, Miss Cole. And I do have some lovely pictures of me and them. And do you know what it made me think about? It made me think about the fact that this was 35 plus years ago, and they all must be married and have kids of their own, families of their own now. And I just think, I hope I made a little impact on their lives. So what did I learn? Well, I learned to follow my instincts because I was used to reading. But what I did also learn was just how to communicate and how to, I suppose, connect with young children by following something that was really familiar to myself, that actually outside of school, I could get on with other people, other teachers, children, kids younger than me. It was all a real revelation, to be honest. So I learned that I was capable of trying a brand new environment, using my passion and my instincts to pursue something new and speak to people that I didn't even know. Now, it's your turn. I want you to make some notes, and it might be that you use a mobile device, or like me, if you love a journal. Love these. Find your joy, a little bit of sparkle. I love to write in a journal. So whatever you want to do, embrace your Gen X. If you love pen and paper, I am here for it. But what I want you to do is to just take some time for yourself. I know time is a precious commodity, but this is all part of your first step to being kinder to yourself, engaging self-empathy. We're trying to push for that positive self-regard. So I want you to think about how the job started, how it ended, what you learned, which is what I did in the system, what you liked about the job, what were you good at, what did you dislike about the job, what did you hate. But in all the time, please don't end up with a list of all the stuff you hated and all the stuff you're bad at. Try and be even-handed, be more self-aware, think about what you liked. Now, in making the notes, if you want to grab some of my journals, I've spent a bit of time doing some lovely designs for you. They're in my merch store, and you can go and have a browse. The link is in the description box below. Now, what I really want you to do is pause the video for 5 minutes, have a think, make some notes, and I'll be here when you come back. Now, how was it, my little midlife maven? Good? Okay, close the book for now. So I used to get pocket money, £5 a week from my mom, and, you know, there was a lot of pressure on that £5 because It was the era of great music. I love the Police. Oh, the Pet Shop Boys had just hit town. Fell in love with them. Go West, Peter Gabriel, Michael Jackson, Adam and the Ants. There was a lot of pressure on my pocket for me to buy records. And my best friend had started working in the shops down the way. She'd started working in the freezer store, and she said there were some jobs going in Woolworths. The chance for me to earn another £2.08 a week, baby, was in the offing. So I applied for a job to work at Woolworths. Gotta give some respect to Woolies, okay? The financial crash did for the company, and it closed down in 2009. It will be sorely missed. I think the name still exists online, and for anyone watching in the US who knows Target, I think that Woolies is very similar to Target. So when I got there, no one spoke to me except the manager, and they pushed me a trolley and said, put all those things on the shelf, make sure they're neat, straight and tidy. It was so boring. And also, because I was new, customers were coming up to me asking me, well, where can I find toothpaste? Where can I find cutlery? Where can I find duvets? Did I know? No. And as I was so bored, I found that in killing time, I started to just stray a little bit further to go and straighten the cutlery, to go and straighten the plates, to go and straighten the bags of nails. And as I went into other sections to straighten and tidy, even though I wasn't allowed to, I was meant to stay on my section, what I was doing was mapping the store. So as I found out where everything was in the store, more and more customers came to me, and my colleagues were going, oh, I don't know where that is, but Marverine will know. So all of a sudden I was feeling quite proud of the fact that people would send customers to me because I knew the store and I was learning something about the shop other than stacking shelves and straightening labels. So I was asked to do till training, which meant handling money, putting cash in the tills, putting all the transactions through the tills, and wait for it, learning how to use the credit card machine to take the credit card payments, because that was a very big thing in the 80s. I felt a little bit of pride, you know, because what I used to love doing is chatting to customers, because, you know, as they came through the tills, they were buying all sorts of different things. I would get them through the tills quickly, especially when there were queues. And I found I loved being nosy and curious. And time flew. No more boring Saturday afternoons in Woolies. Result. Right, so I started off a fish out of water in that job. I got to understand and learn how to better talk to older people that I didn't know. Pretty good leap from getting to know and to talk to younger people. Now I was talking to adults way older than me and almost kind of getting into a great natural conversation with people. I was also given responsibility. I was asked to handle money. I felt like an adult, even though I was only 16. This was a total revelation to me. Shy, quiet girl is now talking to customers in a store, serving them, handling money, handling difficult queries, just acting a bit like a boss. And the bonus was that I'd go and meet my Bezzy after she'd finished her shift at the freezer store, and we'd grab a bag of marshmallows and get the bus home, cackling about the tales that we had encountered and the crazy customers we'd encountered through the day. It was absolute genius. Gotta say though, still miss Woolworths on the high street. Okay, it's back to you. Your turn now. Let's think about the second job that you are going to review. Were there any skills that you downplayed, underplayed, that you've kind of thought, but actually I was good at that, but I've swept it under the carpet, I've been ignoring them? So remember, where did you start at the job? Where did you end at the job? What did you learn in between? What were you good at? What did you like? What were you bad at? What did you hate? Make a list. Pause the video for 5 minutes and I'll be here when you come back. Thanks for coming back. Hope it went well. Your list is building up. Good. Now, my oldest brother loved listening to local radio, listening out for the competitions, and then phoning in to answer the question live on air so that he could win the latest 12-inch record. He won a lot. There was so much excitement in our household. He would say, "Oh, I think they're going to ring me in about 10 minutes." And we'll be like, "What?" Turn the radio on, listen to him answering the question and winning. And one time he won Eric Clapton, Tina Turner, Tearing Us Apart, the 12-inch extended disco mix, which was a red vinyl disc. It's incredible. I still have it. I will dig it out for you one day when I go up in the loft. It blew my mind. I was obsessed with the radio. I think my brother instigated that. And so then I started listening to the radio so much more, and I was just enthralled. I was like, who are these people? Where are they broadcasting from? How are they having so much fun? And they're playing records. And I was so into music and the Pet Shop Boys and Go West and everything and Madonna. And I was obsessed with radio. I needed to see what a radio station looked like. What happened in there? I was curious. The summer of my 16th birthday, I wrote a load of letters to all the local radio stations, and 2 wrote back. I went and did some work at both of them, and I think the one that had the impact on me the most was working for a station called BRMB, very famous in Birmingham. I was asked to come and answer the phone calls for a DJ called Nicky Steele. He did a show on a Saturday morning. It was all about talking to brides who were getting married that day or maybe the following week. And so members of the family or the bride herself would phone in and go, "Oh, could you play me Madonna, gonna dress you up in my love," and play it for me and my hubby and all the family who are getting together to celebrate our wedding today. I would answer the phones. It was so exciting. So I was shown how to use the phone desk. And so I'd be in the room next door and I could look across, and Nicky, the DJ, was through the glass, and he would say, "And Marvellous Marv is on the phone lines, ready to take your requests." Wow. I was so excited by it. And the thing is, I took 2 buses across town to get to the radio station. It was the highlight of my week. At the other radio station, which was the BBC, I got asked to collect guests from the reception, bring them up in the lift and bring them to the studio ready to be interviewed. I would use a photocopying machine and photocopy. I can't even say the word photocopy. Photocopy the scripts for the presenters, and I would make cups of tea, cups of coffee, generally just do like little admin things. It was so cool. And because I developed those skills of working with other people I didn't know, I was a little bit braver, still not like out of the gate full of confidence, but I was a little bit braver. So what did I learn? That I could go out on my own. I mean, random, but I could get up 2 buses and work out where to go. When there was no sat-nav, when there was no GPS, you had a book that was called the A to Z, and you worked it out. And then you got the bus timetables, the paper bus timetables, and you read the time and you said, "Oh yeah, I've got to get to that street for that time to get the bus to get over there." That's how life was, everybody, before the internet. I was developing those skills of talking to strangers and actually communicating and kind of having a rapport with people on the phone, which was fantastic. And I was learning what a radio station would look like, because my brain was kind of trying to connect some dots around, could I work in a place like this? Could I work in the media? Is there any chance that I could be through that glass in the chair that Nicky Steele was sitting in to be a broadcaster? These are all the neurons that were firing in my brain. And also my writing skills were developing as well, because I was writing down all of the requests and taking them through the window to the producer, through the studio into the producer, so they could choose those records and decide which ones they were going to play and the requests that they were going to read out. It was a win-win for me. So you could analyse another job if you want. You know the drill. You've got a list building up. This is all going to be super valuable for you. Oh, and remember the humanist theory, which was about how are you going to turn around that lack of confidence into an unconditional self-regard. Well, you've just been doing it. You've been injecting a little bit of self-love into your life, carving out some time, thinking about yourself, thinking about your future, accepting yourself and your flaws, not ignoring yourself, not putting yourself last, realizing that you do need some time for yourself. And you've tried to understand yourself a bit more. You've been kinder to yourself. These are all the solutions to try and develop that unconditional, positive self-regard that's going to give you the confidence, the boost to propel yourself ahead into your beautiful future. It is really worthwhile, this task. You've got a list of transferable skills now, hopefully, and it means you can kickstart your job search and your job application process. And if you want some more midlife advice around work, around life, around careers, check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you very soon.